Hello, it's towards the end of September 2021, and I'd like to just chronicle my current failure to get Windows Server 2022 working to my satisfaction. So the big plan was to test out and install Windows 2022 Server on my new laptop. And as part of this measured approach, I have for some time, that being about a month or so, been running Windows 22 Server quite successfully on my very ancient Toshiba laptop, sort of 4 or 5 year old laptop. It just about works. I had to modify some of the low-level int files and other things to get the networking and other things working, and it just wouldn't work. But eventually I had success. And so I would have thought that on the 2021 super duper new Lenovo laptop that I purchased with 8 cores and 16 threads and more memory than you can possibly imagine, it would be a doddle, but not so. So there are 4 faults. Let's just check the build level. So this, I don't think there is a later build level, but if you check the, I've installed this 3 or 4 times now. This is the data center version. So we are on Windows Server 2022 Data Center. We're on build 20348. If I run a WinVer, we are on, just to put everyone on the same page, we're on version 21H2 OS build 20348.230. And the following things, which are critical, are not working. Firstly, the most important thing that's not working is the flipping touchpad. So the touchpad of this up-to-date Synaptops based laptop is not working. So, of course, everything would work fine under Windows 10 or Windows 11. I have a fully working retail version of Windows 11 ahead of time. It's working absolutely perfectly. But Windows 22 Server steadfastly refuses to install any touchpad drivers, and it's to do with the HIDI2C.sys driver, because I've compared the drivers on Windows 11 and Windows 10 versus what isn't being installed on Windows 2022. So if we look at Device Manager, which is running, you'll see that after prolonged installation of about a bazillion utilities, everything except one device is installed. So, for example, we have fantastic Intel AX210 160 megahertz working. We have all sorts of other devices working. What we don't have working is the flipping touchpad. So that's pretty much a deal breaker. I've tried so many different versions of touchpad driver from Lenovo, nothing works. And you may be aware that Synaptics, the company who sell their drivers to different vendors, don't actually have a download from their site because they ask the OEM to customize the download. So you've got to go, for example, for a Lenovo laptop to the Lenovo website to get a driver. So that's pretty much the first and biggest deal breaker, but we shall continue. The second deal breaker is that WSL, the Linux subsystem, WSL2, which has been around since about the beginning of 2021, doesn't flipping work. Now, this has been noticed by many people on the Microsoft tech community who have been testing for Microsoft Windows 2022 Server. And many people who have previously had Windows WSL2 working, so Windows Subsystem for Linux version 2 working, have noticed that after about November, well, this is November the 4th, 2020, it all flipping stopped. There's been numerous complaints about this, but no one has posted a solution, and Microsoft has been totally and utterly silent. Absolutely disgraceful. So although WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux version 1 is working, version 2 is not working. In fact, I'm using WSL version 1 here to try and grep through all the files for the HID I2C drivers, and I can see on the Windows 10 and 11 installations where they are stored and launched and taken from. So I've obviously tried putting those into 2022 with zero success. So anyway, so WSL is working, so that's a good sign, but not WSL2. The third thing that's intensely annoying is Windows Hello does not exist at all. So that's the sign-in options screen for Windows 22. You'll notice Windows Hello Face not available, Hello Fingerprint not available, PIN not. I mean, why wouldn't PIN be available? I really don't know. So the only things that are available are a security key and a password. So under Windows 2019 server, PIN login is available, and third-party fingerprint logon is also available. If you look at the services of Windows 2022, you'll find that all the biometric services for fingerprint logon are still there, but Windows Hello itself is not there. And since they've grouped these facilities inside Windows Hello, they're now saying you can't have a fingerprint logon. So that is incredibly disappointing. This laptop was bought especially with a fingerprint reader on the power button. Very disappointing. The fourth and final thing that's not working, which is not a change from 2019 server, is that there's no App Store. So I would say that most people don't use the App Store neither in Windows 10, Windows 11, or Windows, any Windows platform really. The App Store contains applications that I would say can easily be installed from another source, unlike with Apple, where you now pretty much have to install something from their App Store. Under Microsoft Windows, you have the flexibility to install traditional apps from a download in a standard package, an MSI package or whatever, and it will install just fine. But things like graphics drivers, for example, NVIDIA graphics drivers on a previous laptop, the latest NVIDIA drivers require a component that's only available from the App Store. So if you had a Windows Server installation, you can get the graphics working. However, you can't do all the customization that you might wish for because the customizing tool is only available from the App Store. Now, I have heard that there's a sort of workaround, which I didn't know till recently and haven't implemented, to install the App Store on 2019 server, but I've not chosen to do that because since 2016 server, I've got used to the idea that I wouldn't be running the App Store. So the missing App Store isn't a biggie. I think that's the smallest of the issues. I think the issues, again, from most irritating to least irritating are, first, the touchpad is not working. The only way I can get around this is to install a separate mouse. But obviously on a laptop, that is not a working solution. You can't take a mouse with you everywhere. You need the touchpad or pointy stick to work. It doesn't work. So the second thing was WSL2 has stopped working. It was working on the earlier beta releases, but on this, the production release, it ain't working. The third thing is that Windows Hello isn't working, so that restricts your ability to quickly log in and out of the system. And the fourth thing is the App Store is not working. Now, I mention all of this because the idea of running a server platform on your laptop or workstation, the idea is that you're getting the absolute best that Microsoft has to offer. You're getting the most reliable and secure platform that they have to offer, the one with the least bugs, the one that's been tested most thoroughly. And yet, in this situation, you can hear from the frustration in my voice that they've really let everyone down. It's missing some components that ought to be there. And stuff like WSL2 has not been working for over 9 months. What the flub is going on? Microsoft, do you just not care? So this is my grumpy end to the 2022 server installation. I'm going to put the whole thing on hold. I must have spent at least 15 hours, elapsed hours, trying to get this working, especially trying to get this touchpad driver working. Had that worked, I think I would have perhaps made it a goer. But this is about the third or fourth time I've installed Server 2022, and no matter what I do, that touchpad just does not want to work. So sorry, 22 server, it's a no for now, and I'm back to Windows 11, which is, again, that's retail, and we'll see in a month or two whether 2022 server has matured a little. But honestly, Microsoft, I am extremely disappointed. Grumpily signing off. Thanks for watching.